It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas, they using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me. What's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda abusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them. That's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with a Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got to that. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beard, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, Global with that gang gang, you know we don't play gang, yeah.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Sir? Sir, are you listening to me, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Sir, are you aware?
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Wall Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 2993 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beercast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, bustas, hustlers, and yo hoes? It's your boy Papa Swolio back with another episode. And today's episode, the Beastcast, is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Eversting K2, flexing on all you beasts. All right, fam, welcome to the show. Hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out swolenormousx.com for all the latest releases. We dropped some new merch over yesterday's episode, the accountability meeting with brand new releases. We have some new content inside X. We are working feverishly on the app and very excited about all that. So stay tuned. Check all the links down below and make sure you hit the like, subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you bang your ear holes. Let's get into today's episode. Are you ready? Today, our famous famous Swole card is most people don't, no matter what it is. Most people don't go to the fucking gym. Most people don't take care of themselves. Most people don't get up early to go to the fucking gym. Most people don't. This is a great card. This is a great card. And the reason why is because no matter what you think about, no matter what the context is, if it's something that you should be doing, most people are not going to be doing it, no matter what it is, especially with the 7 pillars, especially with improving yourself, which is why people in your surroundings, friends, family, coworkers, people give you pushback, because when you take care of yourself, when you invest in yourself, when you level up, it reflects on them as to what they're not doing. They get self-conscious. They realize that, oh my God, this person's leveling up and I'm not. So they self-sabotage, they project their self-hatred onto you, and they try to drag you down with them. So you got to cut those biches out. Most people don't, and you got to get rid of all those people. You got to get away from the people that don't. Get away from all those people. Most people don't. Stay away from those people. You hear what I'm saying? You hear me? All right, golf clap. Let's get into that tip. Well, babe, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, Swole fan post of the day is from Kat.
What's in the box?
Kat, you are our first Swole fan post. Kat says, okay, fam, been lurking in the shadows, but I've been around. I have a question. Not looking for motivation or a kick in the ass, but today was really fucking weird. I just finished at the gym. Like I'm in my truck writing this. I started like any other day, but I felt a tingle from my pre-workout. So I'm like, hell yeah, let's get this. Well, I get about 15 minutes into it and a wave of fucking emotions hit me like a ton of bricks. I was fine, nothing wrong today, and all of a sudden, it's like someone released my inner trauma and I just wanted to cry like a baby. So I pushed through it, used it to channel my inner berserker, work harder, went a solid hour before my last workout, which was RDLs, and I'll be damned, y'all, I have had a goal to hit 250 on my RDL, and I hit it today. And then I completely lost my shit and had to run to the restroom. So embarrassing, what the fuck? Why? Has anyone had this problem before? What is wrong with me today? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's that part of, look, I'm not a woman. Maybe it's that time with your cycle. There's also a lot of logic behind stressful situations, releasing a wave of emotions. Remember, you're stimulating your sympathetic nervous system and things that are bubbling up under the surface. When you kind of instigate your elevated heart rate, remember, your body doesn't really necessarily know. When it comes to fight or flight, your body doesn't necessarily know that there's not a bear chasing you or an alligator that just popped up out of through your floorboards or something like that. You're elevating your heart rate, you're elevating your sweat rate, your respiratory rate, so that can trigger some other things. I would recommend some more brain gains. Congratulations on that PR. That's pretty fucking awesome. I commented on this actually in the Facebook group, but I wouldn't necessarily over focus on it. There's nothing wrong with you, but it obviously sounds like there's other things that you need to deal with. And I always say this when it comes to meditation, when it comes to brain gains, if you have stuff that you need to unpack and deal with in your head when it comes to meditation and mindfulness, that's not going to get solved with training. Okay. It doesn't mean that it won't help. It doesn't mean that training's not good, but it's not going to solve it. So if you have a mental issue, and this is not about CAP, but when I say mental issue, I mean stress or anxiety or things you have to unpack. You have to go in there. You have to address it where it lies. So you can't address that physically. So when people are stressed out and they go and they fucking try to punch things, you're just going to feel good temporarily, but you're not solving any of those issues. You're not getting to the root cause. And of course, the same thing that I was just saying with like the elevated heart rate could easily be the pre-workout too. So when you take pre-workout, that's very well known, by the way. Caffeine, especially in coffee, a lot of people can't drink coffee because it will stimulate panic attacks and anxiety. So Nick on YouTube says, I'd say is the pre-workout. It definitely could be. Was it a new pre-workout? Did you take more? So it's very common for caffeine or stimulants to cause panic attacks and anxiety. So keep it up. At least you hit a PR. That's fucking awesome. Let's get a round of applause for Kat. That's pretty great.
I give it a 10. A 10.
I think I said this
10.
on the Facebook page. I said, look, maybe it was just the fact that you had a PR coming, it was bubbling to the surface, and you were getting so emotional because you were about to crush your fucking PR. That's fantastic. So at least you got a great PR out of it. You went to the fucking gym and you got it done. Ren says, here's what 64 looks like. I'm enjoying my birthday walking along the cliffs of Dover. So that's fucking an awesome view. That's a beautiful view. Ren, you're doing great. 64 years young, crushing it, getting out there. Good for you. Thanks for sharing the pic. And yeah, pop back in sometime on a live stream and make sure you plug back in a little bit more. We'd love to hear from you. Chester says, restarting my consistency. This is back responding to the accountability text that I send on Sundays. We're going to read a couple of these today. Restarting my consistency, getting up and getting after it because it doesn't matter how I feel. It just needs to be done. So you know how I like specifics, but of course, consistency, it's hard to be specific. How are you going to be more consistent? Well, by setting all the habits for doing your other 6 pillars. So pillar number 7 is consistency. It's about doing the first 6 over and over again, right? That's what consistency is. It's setting yourself up for success, those habits for the first 6 pillars, and then doing that over and over again. So, yep, doesn't matter how you feel. Of course, your feelings, and I talked about this in the Swolosophy episodes over the weekend, sometimes those feelings actually relate to you needing to take an extra day off, and maybe your programming It sucks. Because if you're not recovering enough, you're not going to feel like training. You're going to be dragging ass. But you have to earn that. You have to learn by experience. And you're not going to learn the difference between I'm tired, stop being a bitch, go to the fucking gym, or I'm tired, I'm drained, my programming sucks, I'm doing too much volume, I need an extra recovery day, or to cut back on the not necessarily the intensity, but the volume of training. So there's a difference there, and you have to learn that over time. So we wish you the best, Chester. Keep us posted. Mark says, response to the accountability text, one thing I'm promising to work on is to start really appreciating the small victories. All my life, I've always chased bigger victories, and even if I was close, it was never good enough. But as I got older, I kind of started to understand and appreciate the small victories in life and how that could really push you to want to do more and better. I guess the only way I could achieve this is if I get a small victory sometime this week, and instead of potentially self-doubting myself, I will just take a moment to savor it and really appreciate it a little bit more. It's just that little piece of knowing that I can do it and that I could achieve better if I keep it with hard work and discipline. This is why the 7 pillars are important. You have to focus on each one, and that keeps you focused on the daily. So I always talk about being mindful, being present, focusing on the moment. What can you do? Stop focusing on things out of your control. So if we pause and pivot and pull up the 7 pillars, these are all things that are in your control. Nutrition's in your control, community's in your control, training's in your control, recovery's in your control, mobility is in your control, mindfulness is in your control, and the consistency of all those things are in your control. Now, I'm not saying that things out of your control won't come into your life to try to interrupt that, but it still comes back to these are the things that you need to focus on. These are some of the few things that you actually have control over. So control the controllables, control these things, focus on these 7 pillars, and that keeps you focused on those daily tasks, those daily executions, those daily victories. And you can't tell me that if you don't focus on these 7 things, let's just talk about the first 6, because consistency is just being consistent with those first 6 things. But if you're doing those first 6 things consistently and you're crushing your 7 pillars, you're going to get amazing results. And yeah, the training matters if you want to build muscle. You can't be doing tons of endurance and running if you want to build muscle. So it has to actually match up. But if you're doing the right training, that's the only way that you're actually executing that pillar properly, because training means you're doing the actual right training for the goal you want. You don't just want to get in shape, so you just do physical activity. Not all physical activity is equal or effective for getting the goals that you want. So focus on those 7 pillars, keep hammering away, and you'll continue to make progress. Got a couple email responses. Don't feel like training today? A lot of you don't. Maybe you're listening to this in the morning, in the evening, after the fact. Maybe you still have time to train depending on your time zone. So I sent out the email, don't feel like training today. And Shay says, sleep. That's my plan. I've had about 8 hours of sleep since Friday because of work. The other plan is early morning runs with a weighted vest, and also I need some mobility and stretching. Good for you. So I was putting up an email saying, if you don't feel like training today, essentially stop being a little beesh, get off your ass and do it. Feeling is just, it's a projection of anxiety, of scheduling, of all sorts of things. And like I said, you have to really know the difference. And that only comes with years and years of training and understanding when you actually need programming change versus stop being a baby. Sloan says, this week I'm working on new forearm and bicep workouts and setting a new leg press PR. Grinding at work. Inching towards a promotion is always on tap. Good for you, Sloan. Good for you getting after it. Dear Papa Swolio, thank you for your consistency and constant inspiration via email, Instagram, and many other ways. I did train yesterday and was very happy doing so, even more happy after it. My plan is training Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The in-between days, I try at least going for a long walk in the park. Running is impossible. Madrid is too hot in the summer to run. All the best for you and your family. Regards, Virginia. Well, thank you for that. And I agree, Florida is too hot. It's so fucking hot. It's so hot, and it's humid. I can only imagine if you're on the Mediterranean, Spain, Madrid, that's got to be hot. But yeah, good for you. Good for you. And I'm proud to be here. Thank you for listening and following and sharing and all that stuff. And if you want to get on the email list, it's free. Go to makeemailswoleagain.com. Again, makeemailswoleagain.com. Pretty simple. It's free, and you'll look forward to opening your inbox because my knowledge cock will be just absolutely destroying your box. And yeah, you'll notice it. Understand that your phone will get heavier, and I apologize for the friction, but there's nothing that can be done about that. So go to makeemailswoleagain.com, and I'll split you open when you sign up. So thanks for being here. Let's get into some knowledge cock. Fam, we got a question. We'll kick it off with a question. You can call into the show whenever you want. AskPapaSwolio.com. Today we got a call. First call is from Will, but make sure that you drop your questions in the comments down below. So hashtag ask Papa Swolio. Drop that in the comments down below if you have a question. So let's take the first one from Will. You are on the line. You're on the greatest mancast in the realm. How does it feel, Will? Go ahead.
Hey, Papa Swolio. So my big question for you is, lately on my chest exercises, I haven't been able to gain any strength. But for other exercises, like for back day or leg day, I'm still able to increase the weight. So I guess my big question is, how am I able to gain strength on some exercises but not other body parts? Because I've been stuck at a certain weight for quite a while now on bench. I'm not maxing out or anything. The most or the least amount of reps I'll try for is 5, but the most I won't go past like 10 or 12 reps. So I was just curious. I know if it's pretty generic of a question, that's fine. I understand. So if you need any other information, I'd be happy to give you more details. So that's all. Thank you.
Will, I appreciate the question. Actually, I don't think we've gotten this question in this kind of context. So it's a great question. It sounds generic, but it's not. So it's a great question. You're making progress elsewhere. It's like, why isn't my chest getting stronger? I can't really answer that question. It could be any number of reasons. It could be your form. It could be the intensity. It could be, the thing is, what's different about bench pressing than it is with other body parts is that specifically with bench pressing, you really can't train as hard as you need to unless you have a spotter or multiple spotters, unless you have a cage, like you're really secure. So what I would recommend, whether or not the form is ideal or your form is ideal, personally, I don't do flat benching with like a barbell anymore. I haven't in a long time. Nothing wrong with it. It's not my preference, but could be some accessory work that you need to do. A couple great things that I found that's awesome for chest is just really strengthening, like doing JM presses is fantastic for the triceps. Really helps target a little bit more the medial head and the lateral head. It still hits all parts of the triceps, but JM presses are fantastic. And I felt that really helps, or has really helped me with just my elbow strength overall in terms of pressing movements. So what I will say is I have the same situation where you'll pick a couple exercises and some of them you'll make progress with more rapidly. Now, I'm going to put a couple things out there, Will. I don't know if you're listening live. If you are, you could drop in the comments and we can follow up. But once you listen to this episode, please call back in. Like, listen, call back in. We can follow up with that because you're going to find that you'll have certain movements that just kind of top out. You'll have a machine, maybe it's a T-bar row, maybe it's a pull-down machine, something that just once you get to a certain weight, you just kind of, you plateau and just can't really break through it. And maybe you never will. It's just the way it is. So I would probably mix up the exercise that you're doing. If you're doing flat benching, maybe you try switching to dumbbells. Maybe you try switching to a converging chest press machine if you have access to one. So it could just be something that you just need to tweak a couple things here and there to create a different type of stimulus, or maybe just add something fresh. So the information that I don't have is what your programming actually is, what the order of your exercises are, how much volume you're doing, how close to failure you're going. All of these things matter. What I will also say is, when are you training chest in your workout? and your split. So what I would first do, because what you didn't say is when you train your chest and when you train your back and other body parts. So one thing that I do find commonly is people have this mindset of, I guess, the cliche, save the best for last. And you guys might know this. Like, okay, I'm going to get all this other stuff out of the way first, and then I'm going to crush my abs, and then I'm going to do forearms, or then I'm going to do calves. Well, you need to focus on the weaker body parts, or whatever it is, the body parts that you want to focus on the most. Whatever you do first, when you're the most recovered, is what is going to receive or have the ability to receive the greatest stimulus. It's when you're the most fresh. It's when you have the most energy. It's when you have everything warmed up and you're ready to go. It's like the first, I don't know, you're whatever it is. It's the first bite of steak, the first taste of a juicy steak, whatever that is. The first exercise, the first set you're going to do is going to have the greatest growth stimulus capacity, essentially. And then every set after that, it's going to be more numb. The body and the receptors, everything's going to get a little bit more numb after that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do multiple sets for a body part, but if you're working your chest, after that first set, the second set is going to have less of a stimulus than the first set did. And the third set less than the second. And the fourth set less than the third. So more isn't better. And we've talked about that many times. So depending on your split, how frequently you're training, how hard you're training, and et cetera, and how fast you recover, you might only want to do 2 or 3 sets in a workout, or you might do 5 or 6 sets if you do it once a week, but you're not going to do 10, 15, 20 sets because more isn't better. So I would make sure that your split is biasing your chest whenever you do that. I don't know what your split is, so you can call back in and give a little more details. If you're doing chest and back on the same day, make sure you're training your chest first. Make sure your warm-ups are appropriate. You're warming up, you're warming up properly. You're preparing for your sets. You're doing a couple warm-up sets or prep sets in order to activate your motor neurons and kind of get your head in the zone for those all-out intense sets. But when I hit a wall, if I'm doing a certain exercise and I'm making progress, and I'm going deep on this because it's important, and then we'll move on. When you choose a new exercise, even for someone who's been training for over 20 years, if I choose an exercise, because I have a bunch of machines, I have a lot of different options. I could do cables, I could do dumbbells, I have a bunch of different, let's say, chest machines, for example, because I prioritize my chest in my workouts as well. A lot of people do. If I do a new exercise or a new machine, I don't go as hard as I can that first time. I leave like a rep or 2 in the tank because I'm going to be very sore, usually just because of that kind of coordination it's going to create more fatigue because my motor unit synchronization, my coordination is just off. It's a new movement. It doesn't mean that, oh my God, I don't know how to balance it. If it's a certain chest press machine, you just have to kind of get used to the feel so that new stimulus is going to be more fatiguing. And then the next couple of weeks after that, if I keep that in my routine for the next couple of weeks, I might see the strength increase pretty quickly, or at least continuously. I might be doing, let's say, 300 pounds. Let's say it's weight plates. Let's say it's like a weight stack. So it's 250. And then next time I do it, I do 260. And then it's 270. That doesn't mean I'm building muscle. That just means I'm getting those neural adaptations because it's a new exercise. It's kind of like riding a bike. But then after the first few weeks, then you kind of settle in, those adaptations are kind of past, and then you start really getting to work essentially with the hypertrophy aspect of those adaptations, just to kind of summarize it. So it could be that too. Maybe you think you're getting stronger with these back movements, and I'm just putting it out there. But if you're changing up exercises too often, you might see strength increases just because you're getting some of those neural adaptations, but you're not necessarily building muscle. So getting strength or getting stronger isn't always hypertrophy. Okay? Getting stronger is not always hypertrophy. If you have someone who's never lifted before and they go into the gym and they start curling 10 pounds, they go the next time, they might be curling 10 pounds or 15 pounds. They might go from 10 to 15 pounds. They'll probably go from 10 to 20 pounds pretty quickly. But in the first couple months, they're not just getting jacked in the first couple months. You guys know that. You're not just making crazy gains. You're getting those neural adaptations. You're getting that neuromuscular coordination. So the same thing happens even with experienced lifters with a new exercise. That's why whenever you add a new exercise into your programming, you should not train to absolute failure. You can train to absolute failure, but I'm telling you, you are going to be really, and you guys know this, Come on, you haven't done this leg press machine in a while. Maybe a machine was broken at your gym for a while. Like, oh, I haven't done this in a while. Let me throw that in, mix things up. And the next couple of days, you're like, oh my God, I feel that so much. You're thinking, man, I'm going to get fucking huge. That was a great workout. That's not muscle building. That's just fatigue and damage just from the spindles and everything, just not being used to that movement, that kind of stress and et cetera, et cetera. So you're creating more fatigue because of the novelty of the movement. So keep that in mind. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing a lot out there, Will, because you asked a good question. So I'm trying to answer it in a bunch of different ways. Maybe I hit on something that you'll be like, oh, that's a great point. I've been doing X, Y, and Z. And just keep in mind, some people, you're going to have body parts that might just be really strong. You might have you might be able to curl a lot. You might be great with shoulder presses. Everyone's going to have strong points and weak points. So it really depends on all those factors when you start these exercises, where all that factor. But I will say, just make sure you're prioritizing your chest. If I was hitting a wall and it was kind of flatlining, it could be your recovery. It could be your volume overall. Maybe you're not recovering as much as you think. And here's another part that I was trying to answer, but I don't think I did succinctly like the other things. Different muscle groups, not just systemic recovery, but you're going to have certain muscle groups that really get a lot more sore. Who here has a body part that when you train it, it just gets fatigued? You get sore really easily. My triceps, I did 2 sets. I haven't done JM presses in I don't know, maybe it's been a month or 2 or a couple of weeks. It's been a little bit. I am so fucking sore from 2 sets. 2 sets. And I know I was like, oh, I probably should leave 2 reps in the tank. I kind of pushed and I was like, I went to like a 0 RIR. I pushed a little harder. I got into it. I'm like, oh, it's great. I am fucking sore, like the tendon, like holy shit. And I'm like, I went harder than I should. I mean, I feel good. I didn't injure myself. Like, it's good. It's exactly where I would want it to be, right there on the outside. Like, it was money. But the novelty of it, and also my triceps just get sore. If I do 1 set of single arm tricep extensions, but let's say it's, a pound or 2 more than I did the last time I did, and I did it for like 6 or 8 reps, I will be sore. I'll be like, oh my God, my triceps. My chest usually gets sore. If I'm doing an exercise consistently, I'll feel it, but I'm not going to get crippled, but I will feel it. Certain exercises, for example, another example, I added in wide pull downs for my chest with a different bar. I was using a mag grip bar. I was doing some more sagittal plane lat pull downs, like a high row. I was doing other stuff, T-bar rows. And so I added in a couple novel exercises the last time to start filtering them back into the rotation. And I'm sore. Like, I definitely felt it. So I'll get sore consistently with certain things, but you have to understand also that the soreness is not muscle growth. That's related. It's related. It's a proxy in the sense that if you're sore, and this is the problem with soreness, because people start chasing soreness, and what do? They just over fatigue themselves. So if you're chasing soreness, what are you going to do? You're going to do too much, because you're going to stop being as sore. And I just mentioned this. You're going to stop being as sore when you get through that initial novelty stimulus. You get past that initial novelty stimulus, you're going to be less sore. So what do people do? Oh, let's say I'm doing the same exercise all the time. After the first 3 weeks or so, 4 weeks, I'm not really getting as sore. But this is when I'm really actually making progress. I'm adding even more weight, but I'm not getting as sore. So what do I do in my head if I'm trying to if I associate soreness with growth? Well, fuck, my chest isn't getting sore anymore. I'm doing 2 sets every workout. I'm doing it twice a week. I'm not really getting sore anymore. But let's say I'm making progress. Okay, well, let me do 3 sets. Oh, I get sore for a little bit. Oh yeah, I got sore for a little bit. And then I'm doing 3 sets twice a week. I'm not sore anymore. Let me do 4 sets twice a week, and then 5 sets twice a week. And then all of a sudden I get to that second workout and I'm still kind of sore and I can't really do my next workout, but I try. Like, I'm sore, but I'm not like I'm crippled. I can't push. But so I kind of like go, and then my weight starts plateauing and it starts dropping, and I start getting exhausted and drained, because more isn't better. And this happens even if you do it once a week. Let's say I did 8 sets once a week. Well, maybe 10 sets will be better. 12 sets, 15 sets, then 20 sets. If I'm just trying to get sore, more is always going to make me more sore. Agreed? Doing more shit's going to make me more sore unless I just do random exercises, CrossFit style, and I'm just sore all the fucking time. But sore doesn't mean growth. So if you detach yourself, and it's hard, I am telling you, I've gone through it myself. It is fucking hard to dissociate soreness from progress. It's hard to dissociate soreness from growth. What I will say is that if you're sore, the reason why I like being sore, I like feeling it. I don't have to be crippled sore. I don't want to be crippled sore anymore. I want to be able to fucking move. If I can feel it, I want to feel where I trained. It's a different feel. It's a different thing. Like I'm sore on my triceps, but I feel I wanted to do the jam presses. I wasn't trying to hit the long head as much. Just wanted to mix it up. And like the lateral medial head, like I feel like the tendon, ooh, like right down. Ooh, I nailed it. It was on the money. So in my head, I'm like, great, that exercised my form. Obviously, the soreness is a proxy in terms of targeting that muscle. Because if I was trying to hit my chest and then the next day my triceps were really sore, my chest didn't feel a thing, there's something wrong there because I should have the tension here. You know, it wasn't a tricep exercise. Why would my triceps feel it if I was trying to target my chest? If you're sore in both places, that's different. But if you're trying to target your calves or your quads, if I'm trying to target my quads and the next day my glutes are sore as hell, that's not a good sign. So I want to feel where I trained it. But again, that feeling does not mean that you're growing because people associate more soreness with more breakdown or something like that and more growth. And that's a toxic cycle where you're just going to keep on doing more and more, and then you're not going to be able to recover. So keep that in mind also. I forget where I originally started talking about that, but Will, I know I went off a long thing, but I would have to hear a little bit more about your programming and all that. But like I was saying, it was recoverability. So certain body parts are not going to need as much volume. You might be able to have a little bit more intensity and volume, and again, you'll know if it's good if you're still making progress. If you're doing chest 4 sets on Monday and 4 sets on Friday, if you can hang with that and you're making progress, your weights are going up, you feel great, you recover fast. Good for you. But if you can't, don't do it. This is why I say start with less and then add only if you need to. The tendency is to keep on adding. It's really hard to get people to do like less. So it's like you need to really start with less, like the elimination diet. That's how you should. Actually, I'm not done with this rant, Cerny. I appreciate it. She says it's a very informative rant. Drop some biceps and gorillas down below. Hit the like button. Share the show with your friends. Think of Maximum Swole as an elimination diet for your volume and for this kind of stuff. Because Maximum Swole will take you down to like, and 1 working set per exercise, 2 to 4 sets per body part. It'll freak you out at first, but you're going to recover completely. And the reason why most of you or many of you are going to freak out is because you've never completely recovered since you started lifting in your life. You've always been just broken down and kind of at half mast. You've always been at 80%. So trust me, how hard you can train and how intensely you can train and how much you can grow in terms of the progress it will blow your mind when you're actually completely recovered. So I did those 2 sets of triceps on Sunday, and I'm really sore and I'm glad I did it. So the next time I would do that would be because I took a day off today. It was Mama Swolio's birthday. So happy birthday, Mama Swolio. Yay. She's with a friend of hers. She's getting a massage and stuff like that. So I'll tell you guys that happy birthday. So what was I saying? So today was, I felt like I needed an extra day off because I was training hard. I did some accessory stuff yesterday. Really good to take a perfect time to take another day off for like training. So tomorrow I'm going to do legs and then I'll do my upper body again on, what's tomorrow? Wednesday, Friday. So depending on Friday, I'm probably not going to do necessarily the same exercise, but if I didn't take today off, if I did legs, say I would have been training on Thursday, I might have skipped triceps just because of the novelty. Like I want to make sure they're fully recovered. But when you are not focusing on soreness, I promise you, you will make more progress. It's hard psychologically, but physically you're going to feel so good. And the progress is almost weird. in my personal experience. Like I would do with a pulley system that I have, I'd be doing like tricep push downs with like, let's say 40 pounds or 42 and a half. And I'll do like one set. And I'm like, that's nowhere near enough. But it's the last time I did, let's say I did 40 pounds for 8 reps. Okay. But this time I'm doing 42 and a half with 6 reps. And the next time I do 45 with 7 reps. I'm looking at the numbers and it's like a set every couple days. I'm like, that can't be right. And then it gets to a point where I'm doing like 50 or 52 and I'm doing 7 or 8 reps. The numbers don't lie. You're getting stronger. You're building muscle over time. And it seems like it's counterintuitive to everything you've learned. But if you're building strength, you're consistent with that progressive overload over time, you will build muscle. You're not going to be getting stronger and stronger and stronger over time without building muscle. You're going to be building muscle. So yeah, Maximum Swole is a great program. Check it out, swolenormousx.com. But long answer, but that question kind of took down a couple. I like to answer questions that haven't been asked yet. So I think that covers a lot of stuff before we get into something else. So the recoverability of individual muscles matters. So for example, like I was saying with that, if I do upper body twice in a week, I might do 2 sets of triceps in both sessions. But if I'm really sore, I might only do 1, or I might skip at that next one and then do, instead of 2 for the next time, I might do 1 and 1. So there's nothing wrong with taking a little extra time off or adjusting the volume on the fly. The problem is people can think that more volume is better always, and they're chronically sore and not making progress. Space Monkey Zane, Papa Swolio, I love these intro songs. That's my boy KD. Where can I find your intros so I can add them to the gym pre-hype playlist? P.S. You're killing it on Twitter and I'm reposting when I can. Make America Swole. Yeah, fuck yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you. If you want to follow me on Twitter /X, follow me at Swolenormous. I don't pull any punches. It's fun. I have a lot of fun. So take it seriously. Don't take it too seriously, but I go hard in the paint and it's a lot of fun. So if you want updates on the latest, head on over there. But in terms of his content, he took his stuff offline, so it's not available on Spotify or anything anymore. But there might be a new drop soon. He might be re-recording or re-releasing stuff. So I'll see about making it available, maybe inside the X app or something like that. But I don't have it publicly available because they're his songs. But I have them all in my archive, so I can bust them out whenever I want. So be jelly. But I'll let you guys know if he re-releases his stuff. He took it offline for whatever reason, but he's an artist. He's one of those people, so let him do his thing. Yeah, it is a mindfuck. Somebody says it was a mindfuck for a while, but when I see the results, hell yeah. It's weird. It's weird. So it's like I have to objectively, and this is why it's great to track your progress. This is why I track my weights, I track my reps, because I'm not going to remember. So now when I train with the absolute utmost intent. So I go into my workout. Okay, I did this exercise, 300 pounds for 6 reps. Okay, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing 300 pounds for 7 reps. That's my goal. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to do 7 reps. And guess what? I usually get it. Sometimes I don't. Fuck, I got 6 again. Okay. Doesn't mean I won't get it the next time, or the next time maybe I pivot and I do a different exercise. I have a couple that are in rotation. I don't just only hammer the same exercises, but if I'm training each body part at twice a week, I'll probably have 3 to 4 different workouts or different exercise selections that I cycle through to kind of keep them fresh. So I'm not doing the same thing every time. If I find something, I like that a lot. Oh, that was great. I'll probably do it again the next time, and maybe the next time. And then maybe, okay, let me throw back in the hack squat. I'll do the pendulum squat again next time. Or maybe I'll do Smith machine squats, or I'll do an incline chest machine. And then, okay, I'm going to do Smith machine next time. And I'll do that. And I really liked it. I felt great 2 days ago. So guess what? I'm probably going to do that same thing again the next time and see if I can up it a little bit and see if I can, get a little bit more out of it. So I try to keep a couple different options in the rotation. That way I can keep those neuromuscular adaptations kind of fresh. So if I haven't done something in 2 months or a month and a half, yeah, it might be sore. I'm going to have to back off a little bit because I'm adding something else to my programming. But that's why you don't want to change things up too much. People change things too much. I think that's the problem with what happened with things like CrossFit, or, you know, after CrossFit got popular, a lot of other companies, that was just the branding. Everyone opened a garage gym or some kind of like random gym and stuff where they do random shit. And that's the problem. You do random shit all the time. You don't really adapt. You just soar all the time and you get injured because you're not really adapting to one thing or the other. And the periodization, the progression's random, and, you know, a lot of people doing it at the same time. So quality is decreased, and it's just people change it too much. Look at the 7 pillars. The 7th pillar is consistency. So what's consistent about random shit? Oh, I do random stuff consistently. That's not consistency. You're doing physical activity consistency, but there's no consistency within it. And there's no intent. And that's the problem. A lot of people don't do things, let alone anything, but especially training with like pure intent. What am I doing? So I know when I go into my workout today, okay, I'm going to do a little bit of club. All I'm doing, I'm not exhausting myself with half an hour on a Versa climber or something like that to exhaust myself. I am preparing myself for war. I have 2 battle sets on incline. I have on incline bench. I have 2 battle sets with pull down. And I did 245 for 6 reps. Guess what? It's 245 for 7 today. I'm doing 7. My goal is like at least 7. If I get 7, if I get 8, fine. Fuck it. Nice. And then I'll use my highlighter. So every time I have a progressive overload, when I do a little bit more and I increase, I have my highlighter. So I highlight over what I did. That way, when I look through my book, I can see the highlighter, and that means progress. That means whatever I did a highlighter with, that was an improvement over the last time, the previous time. So I know to look at that for what I'm going to try to increase the next time. And if you start hitting a wall after a while, then like if you're hitting a wall for a couple of weeks, mix it up, change up the exercise. You don't change your entire programming. Just maybe try a different exercise, but go look at the split. Look at your approach, look at your training, look at your recovery. And what I was saying, a lot of people do the best for last. If you want to bring up your calves, train them first. Train them on an off day, quote unquote, because you're not doing that much volume. It's a smaller body part. It's not going to be that much taxing. Like, do it when you're fresh that day, you know, do stuff like that. Okay. That was a lot. That was deep, but you guys like it deep, so I'm sure you love that shit. Odin's Heathen. Yeah, we got you. We got you. Odin's Heathen says, by the way, saw y'all hit my post about my emotional issue the other day. LOL. Thank you for the support, fam. Continuing to work on some things to address what may have happened that day. Much love. Did you try a new pre-workout, by the way? Just curious, because a lot of people do have issues with coffee and stuff. They'll drink coffee and they can't have caffeine because, like, if you're tired and you have pre-workout, a lot of stuff can come to the surface. Like, you can really kind of get jacked up when you shouldn't. But again, that kind of trigger, let's say you're having, not that you did, but let's say you're having like an anxiety or a panic attack or something. Your heart rate goes up, everything, respiratory rate goes up. You know, that's kind of like what caffeine and pre-workout and stuff triggers. So it's kind of like smiling, being in a bad mood and then smiling, but then because you smiled, it kind of like reverse makes you feel a little bit better because you kind of feel silly for smiling, but you associate smiling with that kind of like good mood. So even when you're not in a good mood, forcing a smile can kind of raise your mood. It's that kind of thing. So maybe you had that kind of something that kind of cracked it open. Annika says, most people don't have questions that get such a multifaceted response. Indeed. Oh, by the way, we do have a Tainty Man here present with us, so little 3 cheers for the Tontimian. Look at your little tiny, there's a Tainty boy. Look at your tiny little dog peepees. That's not the peepee though. That's like the little peepee belly button. That's the little nub. And then, of course, the red rocket comes out of there. But that's a Tainty Man. He's got a hog. He does. But hiding the taint. So respect for that. Look at him. Just sleeping. Just fucking out. Let me bother him. Let me see if he wants to growl. I want to play with your jumblies. That's a good boy. He's like, fuck off my gums, dude. Let's see. Odin's Heathen follow-up. I think it was from a mistake I made a few days prior. I have cut way back on alcohol, and I had slipped up a few days before that. I haven't had any issues since. Today's workout was euphoric even. Well, there you go. The most important thing is that you address the issue. If you know, and that's with anything, right? You understand your triggers or what might have happened. It's like, okay, now you know. Good stuff. And I was saying when you posted that, it's like, and also you hit a PR, so let's not knock it completely. Now you're gonna be like, don't be drinking at the gym though, or anything like that. It's like, if I hit a PR, it's like, motherfucker. All right. I can't tell if Navy Dave is Navy Dave trolling? Come on, hold on a second. Is Navy Dave trolling? Someone tell me. Is that a troll? Is that a troll? We're on a roll. Is that a troll? I don't know if you know the inside joke, Navy Dave. I don't know. Some of you guys have names that are different on every platform. So sometimes the same person that's trolling on Telegram and they hop onto YouTube to fuck with me or something. What's your thoughts on intermittent fasting? So this is a joke. It's an inside joke, Dave. So if that's an honest question, I'm not going to rake you over the coals, but that's fine. It's fine. I'm actually going to answer it with some humanity today. It's fine. I mean, my thoughts on it, it's not for me. I don't personally enjoy it. I've tried it, but I like eating a couple times during the day. No, just curious. I'm starting it. Okay. All right, good. So you want, it's like Navy Dave is like that guy that's on tour in Vietnam, just like starts walking through a field, like, taking pictures, and all the natives are like, no, don't go there, don't go there. If you know, there's just like mines everywhere in Vietnam still, and they send out goats to like, trigger the mines because there's still thousands and thousands that are, were never uncovered. So there's like hot zones that people can't go. So anyway, don't go to Vietnam on a tourist attraction with Dave. Anyway, yeah, it's fine if it works for you, but a lot of times people still overeat or eat crap, so it doesn't replace the quality of food. So I personally recommend elimination diet rather than just time restricted eating window. It can work. A lot of people like it. They prefer it. I say try it because you're not going to know until you do it. But now I did it for a bit. I feel better now. I wake up and I have like a protein shake. I have like 40 grams when I wake up, or I'll have some kefir or something like that first thing. And then, I might work out or do the show, and then I'll have another protein shake or eat in the afternoon. We'll have dinner. So I've done it before. I have nothing against it. It's just, it's not like your body is, whenever you hear autophagy, your body's cleaning itself out and eating, breaking down cells. That doesn't happen with intermittent fasting. So, but it can work. My real question would be, why are you doing it? Like, what's the point of that? What are you doing it for? That's really more of the concern. And does that apply to what your goals are? Because if you're trying to, put on a lot of muscle, it's not really ideal in my opinion. Oh yeah, we had the intermittent fasting games. Instead of the Hunger Games, we had the intermittent fasting games. That's such an underrated shirt. I think there's a new movie coming out, right? I don't even know. I haven't even seen it. They just make movies like, they're making, they have no new creativity in Hollywood. Let it rot. But I got to wear that shirt. Underrated shirt. The intermittent fasting games. I forgot about that design. Thank you, Loretta. I got to wear that. I don't think I've ever worn that in a video. There's a bunch of shirts that I've made that I've never worn in a video. And I look in the closet, I'm like, I don't think I've ever worn that, period. I just have so many shirts. Because I get sent every single shirt we make. Yeah, the Daily Swole Telegram chat is an absolute fucking hot plate of garbage. So there's just spamming the hell out of it. It's just most people don't. That's all I see. I see most people don't, and an erectile dysfunction. So, yeah, not much happening over there in the Telegram chat, that's for sure. All right, Space Shuttle Door Gunner. How would you go about getting in calories when working 14-hour days and doing OMAD? What foods to focus on? Burning about 1,000 calories a day. Do you use a watch or something? How do you know? How do you about getting in calories? What are you trying to do? You can't. You can, but you're not going to be able to get in enough. You might be starving yourself, sir. 1 meal a day. I can't imagine that. 14-hour days. What's your goal? You putting on muscle? You lifting heavy? Like, what's going on? 1 meal a day. I don't know. I don't know. You're not going to be getting in enough calories to like build muscle or to maintain. Like, that's a lot to make up for. I can't imagine trying to get in all my calories in one meal. I didn't call you hot garbage, Leslie. I called the Telegram chat hot garbage. I guess you're technically a piece of that garbage because you're in there. But the Telegram chat looks like hot garbage right now. Hot, moist garbage. Indeed, moist. So what foods to focus on? If you're trying to get as many calories as possible, a lot of people go to liquids, right? That's why people do shakes. But raw dairy, man, you'll get a lot of fat, a lot of protein. But if you're trying to get in, like, how many calories are you trying to consume? Like, how many calories do you think you can actually consume of solid, of like quality food in one meal? Like, how many is that? Let's say you're a beast. You ate a pound of beef. How many calories is in like a pound of beef? It depends on the fat, right? But fat's going to have more calories. But is it about calories or is it about what's in those calories and what's in the food? So if you want the most amount of calories per gram, like per weight, it's going to be fat. And we have gifts of garbage cans. You guys are a hot fucking. I'm about to kill the stream and shut that down. You're on my good graces right now. That's a warning for the Telegram chat. That's a warning. That's a warning. So that's what I gotta do. It's gotta be like a baseball, right? When someone hits a home run and then, like, you know, the pitcher brushes back, teams are talking trash, and someone kind of throws like a high heater. The umpire comes out, you know, pointing to the dugouts like, warning, warning. Yeah, you've been warned. You've been warned. I will turn this fucking podcast around. I will turn this podcast around and you'll get no gains. You'll get no mancast. I'll turn this around right now. Meh.
Come on, man.
Yeah. I'll get Brandon to give you a little sniffy sniff. Mm-hmm. Telegram's a short bus of the Swole fam. Telegram chat's literally like the table where you have the kids that are, you know, like, you know, putting cheese in their hair, and it's like the special ed. Yeah, they're on the Swole spectrum over there, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. Zane says most people don't ignore the guy on the roof with a rifle. Oh God, let's not get into that right now. All right. Okay, let's see. Spatial, I just don't have time for meals during those work hours. Well, what about first? Can you eat first? Do you eat first? So why is it 1 meal a day? Why not 2? Just saying, like, can you eat first? Like, what's your schedule like? I hear you. But when you say you don't have time for meals, can you do like a protein shake? Can you do, like, what are your goals with lifting? I mean, like, because building muscle is really paramount. So it might be something where you want to do something where you can, like, you go to the bathroom, drink a shake, like something quick. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what you're doing in the context, but Annika says, most people don't close their mouths. Doing restricted eating window helps some. I found reduced stress took a lot of stomach puffiness and looking at my portions. Yeah. Well, a lot of times you can't maybe sit down and have a meal, but I've had jobs. Like, I mean, when I was training clients back to back to back, like I would go into like the PT room and I would just fucking shove. I'd be like, I'll be right back, and run upstairs. And I would just fucking slam some food in my, like I would get it done. But it depends. You got to prep it. All right. Let's get into balls deep. That's good. That's good for me. That's good for me.
That's deep.
Oh, yeah. You feel that? I know you do. I do appreciate the fact that we didn't have to answer a single Instagram questions. Let's get a round of applause for the Swole fam. Thank you, Will, for the call. Yeah, that's what's up. Let's see. Well, my God, do we have stuff? I guess we got some news too. Should we do some news? We got some videos. I don't even know if, look, any of these videos. Oh yeah. Oh good. We have some stuff with Trump because I'm like, considering the stuff over the weekend, like I don't want to talk about any of these fat twats. It's just not important. I mean, it wasn't important anyway, but it was important. The message, the Marxist philosophy, the communists, like you can never kick a communist enough times in the twat. You can never kick a communist enough times in the twat. Like that, it's impossible to kick a communist too many times in the twat, or their little soy penis. So there's never enough of that. But so we can play 2 of these videos. We can go over some stuff on the timeline. What I do love, what I do say is I am really shout out to Chaya Reichik and everyone over at Libs of TikTok for putting every single person on blast that, especially that's a school teacher or a nurse or a doctor or anyone that said like, oh shoot, they almost, too bad they missed, blah, blah, blah. Like awesome. Because people are getting fired left and right. It's like, fuck you. Now the right's calling for cancel culture. It's like, no, I'm not in favor of cancel culture. I'm not in favor of censorship. I'm in favor of free speech, but it doesn't mean that free speech doesn't have consequences. So there's a difference. There's a difference. Free speech, yes, you can have, but it doesn't mean that you're not going to get shunned from society. It doesn't mean that you're not going to lose your job over it. Even though you can say things, you might not be going to jail, but I'm saying that it doesn't mean there's not social consequences. But this is evil shit, right? And, over the weekend, and I've been posting, I've been going hard, and I love going hard. This is what we do. Swing knowledge cock every single day. People calling for unity, there is no unity. There is no unity across the aisle, not with the left. Now, there could be unity within the party, unity within the country, but you have to wake the fuck up. There's no unity with people that want you dead. Okay? And that's what people don't understand about the left. They want you dead. Dead. They want you dead. The left wants you dead. D-E-D, dead. What was that from? God, what was that movie from? Anyway, they want you dead. So is there unity with people that want? No, there isn't. Not with that. Not with that. But with people that are waking up, that are coming to realizations, you should welcome them. But again, this does not absolve people of their failures and their catastrophic failures, especially legacy media over the past decade. It does not absolve them of their complicit nature of their hateful rhetoric and their nonsensical, absolutely abrasive lies against Republicans, anti-vaxxers, all this of conspiracy theory bullshit, Russia, all this bullshit collusions, the fake ass trials, all that stuff is nonsense. It's nonsense. All right. They're still spreading the bloodbath hoax. Like all these things are absolute, very fine people hoax. All these things are provable lies. So there needs to be consequences, accountability. There needs to be trials. There needs to be sometimes in certain cases, people need to be imprisoned and in jail. I'm not saying unfair sentences like people that were at the Capitol building on January 6th. Like that was a complete sham. It was not even close to an insurrection. People don't understand history. They don't know what an insurrection is. All right, we're going off. Who the fuck shows up to we're insurrecting? We're going to take over the government? Who the fuck on the right shows up to an insurrection without a firearm? Oh, wait. Hey, we're going to go take over the government. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Let me grab my flag. Where's my flag at? Where's my flag? Anyone got my water bottle? Where's my red hat? Okay. So anyone? That's enough right there. It's a building, bro. It's a fucking building. It doesn't mean anything. Like it means something, but it's a building. We have this concrete building. Okay. That's not the government. Okay. It's a building. If you take over the Supreme Court building, it's not like, it'll go somewhere else. Like it's a building, it's a structure, it's a belief, it's a system. But I'm saying you don't go and take over. Okay. Anyway, and that's it. There's your answer right there. I've never in my life. Okay. So anyway, yeah, but like, people like Fauci, accountability. There needs to be accountability. So where the fuck was I? I forget where I was going on that. Unity, this and the other. I don't want to scroll through and go. There's too many things. There's too many things over the last couple of days. We ranted. We talked about a lot of stuff you guys have seen already. You guys have seen most of this shit. There's a couple of things we should watch. All bookmarks. Please tell me I saved it. Oh yeah. Holy shit. That's unreal. All right, you guys got to see this. I don't know if you've seen this one. This is not, brand new. This is probably within the last day or so. But they did I believe this is from, what was it, Point Consciousness. This is got to play this. It's unreal. Someone did like a 3D rendering of Trump's head and how he turned, and it's fucking unreal. So look at this. Hold on a second. Look how close that was. So watch him. So it's a 3D rendering, shows how he turns and the timing of the bullet. Just watch this a few times. Like, you got to like watch it and let it loop. God, technology is insane. What in the actual fuck? He just turns, shot. Like, the guy, like, with the timing, that dude pulled the trigger already. Like, or he was like pulling, he was depressing the trigger. Just watch that a few times. If you're just listening, you're missing out, but you can check the replay. It's like turn. I'm surprised it didn't go over the entire. How did it not go through his cheek? Like, it's unbelievable that it only got his ear. It's mind blowing. The size of the round. Fucking ridiculous. You have to let it loop a few times and just watch just the timing. What if he looked the other way? What if he looked left? He was over here. What if he turned this way? Straight right through the temple, right? Right through the side of his head if he turned the other direction. Completely, because he could have turned like this and looked the other way, right? Because if you turn the way Trump talks, because he's animated, he'll go like this and he'll kind of like lean and turn. Boom, right through his fucking eyes. Mark says they said he took a round to the chest, but was wearing a bulletproof vest. I haven't heard that. Because if you take a round like that from an AR-15, a bulletproof vest might not stop it. It depends on the armor. It depends on the vest. Depends like if it's ceramic. It depends on like what level armor that is. It might stop a handgun, but even at like really close range, some vests don't, depending on the armor, wouldn't stop that. I haven't heard that he was wearing a vest. It's possible, but when I think I know what you're talking about. I saw someone show his jacket and it showed like a hole, but it wasn't a hole. It was something else. Like, it turned out that wasn't true, but I'm not sure. I haven't heard that, but if it is, that's even crazier. I'm just saying I haven't heard it. I don't want to say it's not true, but well, it would definitely knock the wind out, but because not all armor will stop all types of rounds. Like, if it's armor piercing rounds, like if it's a green tip, and also depends on the muzzle velocity, how far away it is, the power of the rifle. So there's a lot of factors. Like, if you take a rifle and you go point blank right up to the vest, like, it's going through. So no, I don't think he turned to look at the teleprompter. He doesn't read that shit. I don't know. Either way, it doesn't matter. Just looking at this is insane, right? I just wanted to show people, like, if you think this is staged, like, you can't. You can't. Look, I don't think people know the difference between planned and staged, to be honest. I think you have to actually define that, because you ask people, was it staged? They might be like, oh yeah, it was staged. They might actually mean like it was planned. Obviously it was planned, at least by one person. But the fact that there's a lot of things that are wrong with this whole situation. So I'll just leave that there. I'm not, I'm getting information or I'm following this stuff the same way as any of you are. What I will say is that there's a couple ridiculous, a couple ridiculous things that have happened recently. You guys might have seen this with Elon Musk is moving. What was it? Was he moving from California? Not Tesla. Was it SpaceX or was it no SpaceX or was he moving Tesla or one of his other companies? He's moving like completely out of California. A lot of people are leaving or officially moving out of California after this new bill or whatever was signed by Gavin Newsom that says, in part, it bans schools from making rules requiring parental notification if a child identifies as transgender. In other words, it's inhibiting parents from their children. Essentially, this is what communists do. This is what the left does. They have to separate the most, I don't want to say iconic, but the most fundamental unit of community, which is the family. So, in other words, it removes your children are not your own if you're living in California. And yeah, it's not good. So a lot of people, a lot of big names are legitimately saying like, we're getting the fuck out of California. I also posted this. Newly appointed VP candidate JD Vance, totally true by the way, overheard by staffer stating, "You can't vote if you skip leg day." I'm like, dude, what a great VP pick. I agree. Do not vote if you skip leg day. So absolutely fantastic of JD Vance to say that. So definitely a good VP pick. Do not vote if you skip leg day. Smart. So I'm in favor of that. I also did post this, which I think is important. The whole term unity, it is a Trojan horse. This whole unity thing. Unity is literally the term of communists. Unity, utopia. It's all smoke and mirrors. You cannot spew hate. You cannot spew lies, deception. You can't be just fundamentally, you can't be a dishonest actor to the level that the legacy media and the left has been and then claim you want unity and, oh, we hope he's okay. You've been calling for this dude's head for years. So you can't pretend like, oh, we're so sorry this happened. No, this is what your rhetoric has led to. And I've heard from some people believe that, okay, you ready for this? I've heard from some people, and it was mind-blowing to me. I almost lost that the right radicalized the left. All right. I heard someone say that January 6th radicalized the left because of what the right did. And I'm like, I don't even know where you start. I don't even know where you start with that. Like my jaw dropped. If you think that the right radicalized the left, it's the, not only is that not even close to being true, it's legitimately the complete opposite. It's not even close. The left has been doing this shit for 100 fucking years. Longer. It's been doing this this is what the left does. The left riots, the left instigates, the left creates, right? It's all the Marxist principles. It's literally revolution. It's all built around instigating a reaction. So this is literally textbook what the left does. It is the literally complete opposite. Complete opposite. This is why Seattle and Portland are shitholes. And California, San Francisco and such. And I thought this was absolutely hilarious. We might get into a video or two, but did you guys hear the response from the should be resigning, but Secret Service chief, who Elon Musk has been calling Chief Cheetos, that she said that the risk to Secret Service, that roof was deemed to be unsafe for officers because of the slope. It was a sloped roof. I told it to Mama Swolio and she was like, wait, what the fuck? Most roofs have a slope, rain goes off it. Like maybe if it's an industrial building, it has a flat. You didn't put someone on top of the roof because there was a slope. You're in the Secret Service and you can't stand on an angled roof. Are you putting people up there in wheelchairs like they're rolling off the roof? Okay. So I laughed my ass off because Elon Musk is the fucking goat. But he posted this he retweeted this from Doge Designer. Just a picture of a Secret Service agent standing on the roof of the White House. And Elon Musk retweeted and put, looks very slopey. Look, this is what it look. Okay. Oh my God. This well-trained fucking counter assassin, right? Counter snipers, surveillance, supposed to be the best of the best. Secret Service protecting like the most high value targets. Oh my God. One leg is slightly above the other. So I thought that was hilarious. Looks very slopey. So I'll tell you what, man, they can do anything but a sloped roof. So I'm glad my roof is sloped, so I'm safe. No one's going to be up there. No one's sniping from my roof because Slope City, baby. Let's fucking go. Let's see. Mel, Papa, when you heard what happened, what news media do you turn to first? I went on X immediately. If you're not on X, you're not getting news. If you're not using X, you're either misinformed or ill-informed. 100%. Nothing moves faster than X. Nothing will get you facts quicker than X. And nothing will get cross-checked and slap the fuck down. If someone posts something wrong, it'll get community noted. People will blast it in ratio in the comments. Like, it's going to get destroyed. So you're only seeing shit that deserves to be like spread around. There's very little, I wouldn't say there's very little misinformation, but I mean, people are always going to post stupid shit, but you are going to have it checked and cross-checked and, sifted through really quickly. So right away, if you're not on X, you're not getting news. And you're not getting news. I'm telling you, you're not getting, all right, let me rephrase that. You're getting news, but you're not getting facts. I promise you, if you're not on X, you are not getting facts. You're getting propaganda, you're getting opinion pieces, or you're getting fucking lies. Straight up. And you're getting it faster on X than anywhere else. There's shit in the news. There's shit in the news that I'll see someone reporting on, and I'll see a podcast, something come out. I'm like, that was on X like a week ago. Like, it's just old. It's out immediately. Right when I was live on my phone, it was like Instagram Live or something like that. And someone was saying Trump was shot, and people spam all the time. So I'm like, whatever. And I was like, yeah, it's true. So I signed off. I went on X and I reloaded and I didn't see anything. And all of a sudden, like a minute later, boom, video. And then it was just everywhere. And then you have CNN and you have Washington Post or people like loud bangs heard. Trump fell on stage. And they were just lying. Lying from the start. Trump falls. Trump falls after loud noises heard at rally. The fuck are you talking about? That was like an hour after we knew that they were shooting at him and the person got shot. It's fucking crazy. Another place for the Swole fam to troll you. Oh, bring it on. Bring it on, fam. Troll me. And not like roof ladders. Like, yeah, roof ladders, right? Yeah. No one knows about that. You could buy roofing shoes in most clothing stores in Australia. Let's see. Why, Michael? Getting together involves both sides listening to each other. It's definitely not happening anytime soon. I disagree with that. It's not about both sides listening to each other because it's not about both sides. That's the government, like bureaucracy. That's garbage. I'm not a fan of Republicans or Democrats. The uniparty is pretty much shit. But it's about, the thing is, the quote unquote, I don't even call it the right. People with logic and common sense listen to both sides. So I listen to both sides. It's just that one side is consistently wrong and consistently evil. I'm not in favor of Nazis, but that's blown out of proportion. There's no presence of like white supremacy in this fucking country. I haven't seen a Klan rally. Like if you see one or people walking through, it's like a small town. Like who do you know that has like Nazi tattoos? And you don't know anyone. You don't know anyone. Everyone has prejudices and everyone has preferences and this, that, and the other. It doesn't mean there's white supremacy. There's no KK fucking K. It's like a non-issue. But when you have one side calling for death, when you have one side calling for elimination of the other, people on the right don't want the left eliminated. But if you're screaming at the top of your lungs with 17 facial piercings and purple hair, and you're just yelling and screaming at people and throwing shit, it's like you can't have a conversation with those people. You can't have a conversation with a kid who's throwing a tantrum. You can have a conversation with that, so you can't. There's nothing to listen to. You can't have a conversation with that. There's no listening to it. People on the right, and we'll just talk about it in that sense because most people understand it. People on the right understand the issues from both sides. People on the left have no idea what's going on. And this is just across the board. People on the left they're just completely suckered with propaganda. On the right, you actually have, it's literally the party or the side of logic and common sense and objectively looking at the facts. And I'm not saying some people don't have opinions. There's opinions and there's differing opinions within people that are voting for Trump, but we're playing with the same facts. Whether or not you agree on abortion or this, that's the least, I mean, it's an important issue, but it's much less important than people make it out to be. That's what the left uses as an emotional cudgel to get weak men and women to rise up against some kind of patriarchy and this shit that doesn't fucking exist. And it's actually good for this country. You want strong men, you want strong leaders. So that's the problem. That's the problem. So it's like, think about this. What's the famous quote? Don't argue with someone. What was it? Don't argue with someone who's dumber than you. They'll beat you and bring you down to their level and beat you with stupidity. Like, what's that quote? That's why, like, when it comes up with someone that I'm aware of or circle or something, like, if I have a conversation and if you don't have, I have certain beliefs and understandings because I like facts and I like forming my own opinions. I might have similar opinions to a lot of other people, but that's because we agree on the facts. And okay, humans are more alike in many cases than different. Bell curve, right? You have people on the fringes in both sides and both in all situations. There's always going to be a standard deviation. But I'll hear what people bring to the table when they're having a conversation. And it's literally like what I said before. It's the left radicalized the right. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what the? Where do you start? No, seriously, where do you start? Where do you start with someone that thinks that the left radicalized or the right radicalized the left on January 6th? The right on January 6th, that January 6th radicalized the left. Like, where do you begin? I'm serious. Like, where do you begin explaining, or what do you show someone that believes that? Like, their fundamental worldview is fucked. They have no idea what's going on. It's like, I don't even know where to start. You don't even know what the left and the right is. You don't know history at all. And all you're doing is just mainlining MSNBC. If that's what you believe. Like, I don't even know where to start. That's my point. So it's, how do you have a conversation with someone, even if you want to? Like, I don't even know where to begin. What do you do? Like, how do you even, where do you start breaking that down? It's just so fundamentally wrong. Yeah, they'll beat you at your right. They'll bring you down to their level and beat you at their own game. Yeah, I think that's the quote. I'm not necessarily going to play this video. It's longer. We'll watch a couple of videos, but I'm just saying, if you haven't checked this from Milk Bar TV, I recommend you doing it. I just reposted it recently. I saw it before, but I decided to share it. It's a great video. We have to watch it now because it's like 4 minutes or so, and listening is just going to be like, okay, whatever. But it's a real time from beginning to end, from like the couple minutes before where they spotted the shooter. If you guys don't know everything, watching this video will kind of give you the whole 4 or 5 minutes and why everyone's freaking out at the failures of the security, and why it's like, not only was that roof white, the shooter was spotted like 2 or 3 minutes before the shots rang out. And the building that the sniper was on was actually like the home base. It was like the was like the home comm. It was like the communications center for the sniper team. Like that's where like their communications center was, like in that building or something. It's like how the you didn't look up, you didn't figure having someone stationed on the. It just doesn't make any sense. But anyway, if you watch this video, it shows all the videos popping in completely synced to the speech, so you can see every different segment from beginning to end. So if you want to watch it, it's on my X account at Swolenormous, and you can check it out. So that's a good watch if you haven't seen it yet. All right. Anyway, so let's get into, we went really long. We're kind of wrapped up, but let's do this one because these are two. One of them says shooter missed. They both said shooter missed. So you can tell it's going to be like hardcore lefties like, they should have hit. Let's watch them so we can at least make fun of them because they're absolute
What's in the box?
fucking disgraces to humanity. But again, you got to see, you got to know what's out there. You got to know what types of people that you have to deal with and what's out there. So shit's real. It's gotten real. They want you dead. So how do you communicate and how do you shake hands and be like, it's water under the bridge? They just tried to kill the leader of the American First. Oh, how horrible it is, right? The America First movement. Oh my God. America First. Oh, such a scary thing. Before I have a little bit more of a rant. Just the concept. If you live in America, don't you want to put your country first? Don't you want your family and your community and your country to be put first based on your tax dollars and your money and your investment? I don't know why that's a hard concept. I don't know why that's a hard concept. Yes, we should put America first. Like the fuck? Like the actual fuck. Why wouldn't we? Ukraine first. Israel first. I don't give a thunder fuck about Palestine. I don't give a fuck about Palestine. I have no problem saying that. I don't want people to die, but what the fuck has it to do with me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I don't give a fuck about Ukraine. Why? I have nothing to do with it. I don't know. It's on the other side of the world. If we didn't have technology, I wouldn't know it existed. I really don't give a fuck about China. I don't give a fuck about any of these countries. I'm not saying that they're not good for global and we have cell phones because of China. Yeah, I get it. I'm not saying I want them to disappear or I don't want people just to die en masse. They are anyway with no doing of my own. But I'm saying, it doesn't have anything to do with me. I got my family here and I'm working here. It's like, it has nothing to do with any of us. Like, just stay out of people's business. Don't send our resources over there, especially when our shit is fucked, right? Send all our shit overseas. Burn the bridge down. This is the kind of shit that you do if you're trying to burn the country to the ground. So if you're trying to think about, and this is the biggest thing that blows a lot of people's minds when you really think about it. There's the Tainty Man. There's a little bit of an intermission. Aww. If you're trying to think about, why are we doing this? Why are we sending all this money? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? Like, it's not good for our country. Why are we trying to build and move forward? Our borders are wide the fuck open. We're giving these people IDs and money, and we're taking them to kids' daycare centers and schools. And oh my God, what are we doing? We're trying to. It doesn't make sense if you think that what they're trying to do is move the country forward. If you want a successful country, it doesn't make sense, right? But if you shift your mindset to like, hey, if you're trying to burn the country to the absolute fucking ground, what would you do? You would do every single one of these fucking things. Every single one. To a T. Yeah, I would just try to keep the border open. I would flood the fucking border. I would do all this stuff. I would take away parental rights. I would, try to break the family apart. I send as much money overseas as possible and launder it through the military industrial complex. I would just do as much. If you think this money, we're sending $80 billion to Ukraine, you're a fucking idiot. It's going right to Lockheed Martin. It's going to Boeing. It's going to all these military industrial companies that are making equipment. Right? It's just, that's what you would do. You would do exactly all these things if you're trying to burn it to the ground. So anyway, rant over. This is called Shame Shooter Missed. And this chick is, the initial frame is, wow.
Absolutely. You guys are out here on the heels of the attempted Trump assassination. Can I get your reaction to what happened the other day?
Well, it's a shame the person missed, but it's ironic that the shooter was also a Republican, and I am scared about political violence.
You're scared of political violence, but you were hoping that he wouldn't have missed.
Yes.
Wow. Could you elaborate on that? I mean, many people are.
By the way, the shooter didn't miss. Shooter did miss. Not only did it hit Trump, but also killed the gentleman behind him, the fire chief, in a tragedy. So it wasn't a miss. So people that think that the shooter didn't miss. Missed Trump in terms of killing him. Still hit him, but didn't miss.
That the shooter missed and could have led to a lot of conflict in the country.
Regardless if Trump is in power or not, he has a lot of influence, and that makes him a very dangerous person, and nothing will stop.
Sounds like Kermit the Frog.
We want to live, and sometimes Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter that included one of my favorite quotes, that sometimes the tree of liberty needs to be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants.
Do you hope to see others also, if all that holds true, do you want to see others try what this young man tried at this Trump rally?
I don't know if it would do any good.
Okay, interesting, yeah. I see you have a crossbow over here. Can you tell me a little bit more about it and why you decided to bring it here? You have I don't know what it is. It looks like a crossbow.
Yeah, it's a pistol crossbow. I don't like firearms. This is a much safer alternative, and it's used only for personal defense as an absolute last resort.
Wow.
I hope I never have to use it.
Why did you feel compelled to bring it here? Do you feel unsafe?
Very much so. I'm absolutely terrified to be here.
I had one last question for you since it caught my eye. I see you have a hammer and sickle tattoo. Can you tell me more about this tattoo?
I was born in the Soviet Union. I was brought here when I was a little kid, but it's just a symbolism of where I came from. No, I do not support Russia. No, I don't condone anything that it does or that Putin has done. I would consider myself more of a socialist, but
no.
It's just a symbol of where I was born.
Okay, so
you guys
are a communist, and to the point where like he was a registered Republican. You do realize like many Democrats. This is in Pennsylvania. Many Democrats switched to Republican in order to vote in the primary in order to get the Republicans out. So registering has nothing to do. Donate to Democratic Party, all this other stuff. But it's very ironic that the shooter has no social media, was whitewashed from that BlackRock video. If you go and dig through that, BlackRock, I think, deleted that video that they had circulating around the internet. But obviously very sketchy. Definitely not a Republican, but it is what it is. Hopefully we'll find out some more information, but can't really rely too much on the FBI considering the FBI is compromised. So not really holding my nips too much for that. Anyway, that was a cringe video. Yeah, just a hammer and sickle tattoo, because that's where I came from. But I don't support Russia. No, the left has shifted to the whole Ukraine, Palestine. It doesn't matter. The left has no honor, which is a huge aspect of it. So they're not supporting of any cause rather than to usurp the standing power. There's no truth but power. That's the only thing that the left believes. It has nothing to do with Russia. It has nothing to do with Ukraine. It has nothing to do with Palestine. That's what people have to understand. It has nothing to do with these things. It's on to the next thing, right? You know, the whole thing, like I support the next thing, whatever flag in the bio, it's always going to be a next thing, right? It's transphobia, it's fat phobia, it's body positivity, it's, ageism, it's whatever the fuck it is. It's the reason why it's always this victim approach is because that's the Marxist philosophy. Marxism is the philosophy of communism. It is about oppression dynamics. If you are oppressed, you have the right. You have like the moral imperative to overthrow your oppressor. Like that's all it is. It's going to shift constantly, no matter what the fuck it is. Whatever. That's why it's always the narrative. Yeah, they're creating the narrative. That's the narrative. It's going to hop to the next thing and to the fucking next thing. Has nothing to do with the country. They don't give a fuck about Ukraine. Why would they? They don't give a fuck about Palestine. They do not give an absolute fuck. And I will say that some people in those rallies, those like Palestine rallies, maybe they do. Maybe there's a couple people like family and stuff. Like, okay, fine. But it's being manipulated by the left. Like they leverage that and feed into it. And of course you have, people most people are just, it's LARPing. It's LARPing, but it LARPs with people's lives. Millions of people die as a result. Tens and tens and tens of millions of people have died as a result of Marx and communism. All right, Trump shooter miss. One more, and then we'll give away the Swole card.
What's up, TikTok? I got one thing to say.
It's going to be stupid.
About today's news.
It's going to be dumb.
You had one job.
Yep.
Whoever that was, I can't say it because I don't want no problems.
Well, you got problems now. It's already been shared. As if this doesn't...
You had one fucking job.
As if this doesn't mean...
And you missed.
I'm not going to say it. You just said it.
Thanks a fucking lot. You had one job.
Yep.
And you missed.
Yep. Thank God for CIA diversity hires.
You had one fucking job, man.
That's it?
And you fucking missed.
It shows her account. Too bad your dad didn't miss inside your mom's puss. He hit that egg right on the money, unfortunately. All right. Yeah, right. Bushy Brow says, let me just get a swastika tattoo because I'm German. That's fine. Yeah, can I ask you about that hammer and sickle tattoo? Oh, well, I'm from Russia. The hammer and sickle is not Russia's flag. That was the USSR. Oh, Jesus Christ. The coat hanger. Yeah, let me get that was funny as hell. Let me get a swastika tattoo because I'm German. Yeah, I'm German, so I got a Nazi tattoo. Yeah, but I'm not in favor of Germany or the Nazis. I just got this because I was from there, All right, Swole card time. Fam, we went long again. We went deep. Most people don't. Let's give this card away. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, share the show with your motherfucking friends if you have any. If you're not, you don't get any friends, I'll be your friend. I'm here every day. Thanks for being here. Bish. Most people don't. Today's winner, landed right on it, is Odin's Heathen. Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah, no Telegram chat. No Telegram chat today. No. Down. Bad Telegram chat. Bad. Naughty. No Telegram chat. Spam motherfuckers. Telegram chat's just like the absolute trolls of the Swole fam. Get some trolls over there. Got Melissa over there. Melissa, I don't know why you hang around with those peeps. I don't know why you hang around over there. America, Zane's trying to clean up the mess over there. No, you're all responsible. You're all responsible. Odin's Heathen, congratulations. Send us an email to support.swolenormous.com. Swole card 2993 in the subject. Mailing address in the body of the email. I called the fuck out. Yeah. Aaron, yeah, you might have to switch. That's like, so this is like the Telegram chat is like the alternative high school. It's where the kids go where they just get in detention too much. They just can't integrate with the other students. So they have to be removed. They have to go like a special school because they have attention issues. They just speak out of line. They spam the chat and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, the Lost Souls, indeed. The Lost Souls, the Daily Swole. We should call it the Lost Souls. First off, look at that tainty boy. Mr. Mustard, Mr. Tainty Boy. Well, Church is here too. She's just sleeping. She hasn't really given us much to work with, but she's cute. She's being cute. Hello. Give me kisses. Everyone loves you. They want to say hi. Kiss. Lick your butt. That's cool. How old is Church? She and Rufus are the same. They're 5 days apart. So they're both, was it July? 2.5 years. 2.5 years. And Papa Swolio's like 20. She's 19, 20 years old now, something like that. Fucking unreal. So, yeah, she's doing great. She's running around. She's fine. Papa Swolio's doing she's still going. No one can believe that she's like 19 or 20. It's nuts. It's nuts. So the goat lives on. Yeah, she's doing great too. You're so cute. You're such a good girl. All right, fam. Thanks for being here. Reminder, join us, swolenormousx.com. Tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Thursday. Where's do I have my picture up? I think I removed it. Oh, no, maybe not, because we had the accountability meeting yesterday. Let me just bring that up. There we go. So Thursday, July 18th. July 18th. So not tomorrow, but the next day, 6 p.m. Eastern time, we have Roundtable 72. It's been a couple of weeks, so it's going to be it's going to be an interesting roundtable because we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We can talk about current events. We'll talk about anything, but it's going to be fun. So this Thursday, Roundtable 72 members only. Join us, swolenormousx.com for the Zoom call, and we'll talk then. But tomorrow we still have another episode, and then Friday we have overtime, new DWG and stuff. So this roundtable this week is going to be fire. So whatever's trending, whatever's like the latest news and stuff like that, we'll catch up, because I know this has been on everyone's mind, but I can't stop thinking about it. This is a rare event, and that's not the reason why with former President Trump, but it's just a very humbling moment. And this is what happens when the internet and all this fucking nonsense, or the media, you're seeing it in real time. You're seeing what happens when this shit goes sideways as a result of propaganda. You know, you can't just, like, things have consequences, and we're kind of at this pivot point. You know, if you guys have felt it, we're at this little cusp where, yeah, it can get worse before it gets better. Maybe that's the worst that it gets. I mean, we're in July, August, September. The left isn't going to leave that alone. I'm telling you, they're not done. But yeah, so the tides are changing, it's shifting, but you know, we hope it doesn't get worse. It's just I think it's one of those things where it's kind of like when your car gets broken into, you know, vandalized. You feel like it feels like a rug pull. You know, it feels like you were exposed as a country or your belief. It's like very sobering and shattering. And I know this is going on the same thing with like Trump and his family and supporters, but a lot of people, it's a wake up call. Like, this shit is serious. It's not a joke. It's not just throwing shit on social media. It's not just throwing shit. You know, CNN's talking about this. Oh my God, Trump. No, this is real shit. This is what happens. This is what happens, whether or not this was like a deep state hit, whether or not this was co-opted or was planned or someone got paid off or was just complete gross incompetence. There's nothing good about this, because these are all people, and you're seeing the catastrophic failure of what you thought you had a strong belief in. And for a lot of people over the past 5-10 years, that has been slowly eroding and collapsing, kind of like the buildings in the movie Inception, just crumbling to the fucking ground. So a lot of people's understanding of the government and media and what's true and what's not and what's real and what isn't is like collapsing like a house of cards. So a lot of people are waking up, and it's shocking, and it can be, you know, it's kind of like when if you have a kid or having like a night terror or something like that, you wake them up in the middle of it. It could be really jarring, and it could be worse. You know, sometimes you want to let things play out. Sometimes if you wake people up when they're not ready, it just like, you have a lot of anger, you have like a lot of frustration, you have a lot of, you know. So anyway, it's humbling and it's sobering, It's frightening, but it's also real. So you can't hide from it. You have to be aware and apprised. But this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't pay attention. I'm not saying any of you. I'm saying this is what happens when, as a collective, as a country, you don't talk about politics at the dinner table. When I was growing up, it's like, no, you don't talk politics. It's like, it's not good behavior. You don't talk about politics. You don't talk about politics in school. You don't talk about politics at the kitchen table. So guess what? You don't talk about politics. You don't know fucking anything about politics. You don't know anything about how the system works. You don't know anything about history. You don't learn shit. And then you get generation after generation of people that don't know anything. And then this is what happens. So you need to talk about it. You need to set the record straight. You need to educate people and educate yourself and be prepared. So, yeah. And, you know, I'm not saying it was anything more complicated than just gross incompetence. And this guy was fucking insane. There are a lot of insane people in this world. But why was he insane? Why did he want to kill Trump? Right? Let's say that was the case. Let's say, you know, simplest answer, DI hires, right? The woman who's the head of the Secret Service that used to work security at Pepsi. That's perfect. These female agents, people, obviously, he wasn't an active president. He's a former president, whatever. It was just a botched job. It was just awful. Let's say that's the solution. Like, it was just bad. I mean, heads need to roll, figuratively speaking, like people need to resign, all that stuff, right? But this is what happens. You have a lot of crazy people in this country. You have a lot of people that are fucking unhinged. And if you're seeing this in the media over and over again, this guy is the devil. This guy is evil. He has to be eliminated. Put him in the bullseye. There's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be blah, blah. He's a Russian agent. All this stuff for a decade. Yeah, you're going to have a couple of those people on the fringe that maybe do something about it, unfortunately. So if that's even the simplest solution, there's a lot right? Even if that's just the simplest answer, that's frightening because that means the government's, we know that, but it's just on its face completely incompetent, top to bottom. And then it's really a safety issue. You're like, if the Secret Service can't fucking protect if a 7-year-old will be like, yeah, put people on the fucking roofs because I've seen movies and I play Call of Duty. If you play Call of Duty, you know, watch the fucking roofs. What person doesn't know that from a movie? Look, where would snipers be? Go on the roof. Right? That's like, I don't know. That's just common sense 101. So the fact that wasn't done, I think it's just it's a sobering realization. Oh my God, the people in charge, even more so than ever before, have no fucking idea what's going on. So it's almost like there's no one at the wheel. So I think that's why everyone's like, what in the fuck? And the more stuff that comes out, it's it's just more and more of what the fuck. It just keeps on going and going. What the fuck? You learn more. You're like, wait, that's not possible. What the fuck? So it's been like that for like the last 4 days. Zane says, Papa Swole, if these people hit the fucking gym, they might be too tired to get out and protest bullshit. These fucks are clearly skipping leg day and brain gains. Yeah, preach. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, your boy, Papa Swole. Out.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they can't laugh and they so mad, it's like
yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm